Hello and welcome to this short introductory video to the Bachelor of Science in Product Design, Marketing and Innovation here in Maynooth University. Let's jump in. This course is particularly relevant to those who enjoy taking apart products, understanding how things work, or find themselves looking around a house or in school, thinking they could create a better solution to existing problems. My name is Martin Ryan and I'm the Program Director for the course, but I've also, like many of our staff, got a background in research. I'm an active practitioner in implementing design in industry and society in general, and I'm passionate about education. So in this presentation, I'm going to talk you through what is product design, the course structure, the design process, and then some of the practical information around entry requirements. And finally, I'm going to give you a rich sample of projects that have come from the course to see if this is something that might interest you guys. So most people are familiar with architecture, and product design is a lot like architecture, where an architect has to understand the needs of people, but also understand the possibilities and limitations of materials and science and technology. They need to bring those two together to create a meaningful solution. Product design is the very same, but for almost every other type of product that exists in the world. There are many different career directions you can take following this degree in product design. You can go into designing basics equipment, consumer electronics, join the furniture industry, go into cosmetics and pharmaceuticals and other chemical industries and design the packaging to house them. Or you can join some of the big growth spaces, which is around medical device design, interface design, and the whole digital world also needs a user-centered design approach, and the same with the service sector, which are all big growth areas. But if we take it back to something basic like a toothbrush, there are always opportunities to add value to even well-established commoditized product lines. So in the case of a toothbrush, here's a nice example of a simple piece of innovation. People want to keep the head of the brush clean and off a dirty surface. So instead of having to rely on a third-party object like cup, this designer weighted the bottom of the toothbrush. If we broaden out the experience of people brushing their teeth, there are little pain points or little elements of that process that could be improved. And one such pain point is getting that last bit of toothpaste out of the tube. So this product demonstrates a really nice use of adding extra value to a toothbrush, making it work harder, and leveraging a space on the brush that currently is wasted or not used. Design is often inspired by poor usability issues or opportunities to improve the ergonomics, and this is case in point. So with this fountain toothbrush, where people normally would naturally bend down under the tap or maybe use a glass to rinse their water, this instead uses a simple mechanism to project the water back up into the user's mouth, making it more comfortable. If we broaden out, often from big success stories and existing product lines, there are great opportunities for innovation on the peripheries. So with the likes of Apple and all various consumer electronics, they're getting smaller, thinner, more compact. What this student has designed is they've recognized that in the UK and Ireland, we have this big clunky plug. So if you have a nice streamlined bag to carry that slim device around, then you've still got to carry this clunky equipment. So they've cleverly created a collapsible plug to overcome that and create a better experience for the user. Design and design thinking is really coming into its purple period now. It's in big demand from industry. In fact, it's according to a PwC report, design thinking is the second most popular approach to R&D in organizations nowadays. And this has grown from a low base just a short few years ago. The second thing to note about the general dynamic of industry is industry is really emphasizing the importance of experience, and 89% of CEOs are now prioritizing creating a better experience for the customers as the next competitive difference. So the course structure in Maynooth is unique by involving 3 different streams of subjects into one. So we draw on technology and science, business and marketing, and then design, process, tools, and mindset. We largely deliver the course through continuous assessment, which means it's heavily project-based, it's very applied, and you're going to develop a rich portfolio of work by the end of the course. In the second half of third year, you go on a 6-month work placement, which ensures you're ready for employment and you're more in demand for companies. This is a snapshot of the syllabus and structure of the course. So you can see we've broken it down to the 3 streams. The yellow signifies the technology and science, blue business and marketing, and the grey signifies the design subjects. So we do front load some technology and science to make sure people get up to speed on what's possible and what the limitations are also. But then as we progress through, we go into different sub-design specialties, from service innovation through to usability, ergonomics and aesthetics, which is design around the human body, through to the mastering design for the digital applications, and the specialty there is human-computer interaction. And then we've got this very interesting subject, which is unique to Maynooth, design, ethnography and anthropology. And this is really a method to get a deep observation, walk in the footprints of your users so that you can get a richer understanding of what their needs are. And it underpins a lot of really breakthrough innovation. In third year, then you will go on work placement in semester 2. And by fourth year, you'll do 2 significant projects. The first one is sponsored by an industry partner, so it'll give you real world practice. And then the second is an opportunity for you to choose your own brief. So if you're passionate about sport, passionate about helping a particular group of people, medical devices, or some line of consumer product, that is your opportunity to invest a lot of time and effort into designing a solution for that. Within the design stream of subjects, we have a lot of subjects. So broadly, they can be grouped as design research subjects, which help you to clarify and understand the problem. Then there's concept exploration and selection, which is about building on the learnings from your research and translating them into new product solutions. And then we've got finalization and presentation techniques, which is about engineering out the solution ready for market application. We are very active and very connected to industry. And so both on placement and during live projects where we partner with industry, we work with these organizations and many more. And really the places of employment for our students are very broad and diverse. So they can go into product and service design sectors very comfortably. They can also go into technical marketing roles, very good user research or customer research roles, and many more applications beyond. Let me introduce you to the design process and what it entails, because this design process is pretty much universal across service design, digital interface design, and product design. And this is the Stanford D-School model. There's a number of different models which you will draw on and learn over the course of study, but this is a very popular one. And it starts with empathy. So you empathize with the people who are going to use and interact with your solution at the end. Then the define phase is about clarifying and putting a focus on exactly what aspects of that problem or challenge you're going to address. Then from that, we jump into ideation and we develop solutions and better solutions to that clarified problem. We build them to make them tangible and we test them with real users, and we go back and we iterate those last 3 steps in terms of ideation through to testing. The empathize phase, at that point you'll be exposed to a rich set of social science, marketing and statistical research tools to really understand the problem. From that, We still use sketching as the primary source of capturing initial ideation. You don't have to be expert at sketching, we'll teach you the techniques, but the form we use is a very quick, simple illustration to document the essential feature and move, so that you can come back and reflect on that or use that as a conversation piece with the end user. Once we start to filter down towards a direction and get more confidence that we're going on a meaningful direction, then we'll move into a form of sketch modeling, and we'll use simple materials like card and foams. You can see in the image that this is an example of where Dyson do this early sketch modeling and prototyping. As sketch modeling progresses into more high fidelity prototypes, it gets a little bit more expensive. So we need to be more sure of and more specific in what we're trying to test. So here we'll use 3D printing, you might use clays and other composite and plastic materials to isolate a particular feature to test. And test and evaluation is important because this is where you can make a performance claim about your solution. So if we take the vacuum cleaning industry, for example, for a vacuum cleaner to be able to say it has the best suction in the world, what every vacuum cleaner does is they buy a piece of carpet from a single mill, and they buy a piece of grit and they sift the grit onto it, they weigh the carpet, then they do a pass of the vacuum cleaner over the carpet and weigh it again. And those who've taken away the most grit can make the claim that they have the best suction. Every industry sector has its own unique standards and ways of testing so that you can make performance claims. So what is entailed in getting onto the course? And as you're about to sit your Leaving Cert exam and you're preparing for, of course, your final CAO adjustments, things you might consider. Typically, the course can fluctuate from 360 to 400 points. So we advise that you strive for 400 plus points to secure your place on the course. You can see there that there's a number of requirements in terms of the minimum grades within subjects, but no third language is required. The team in the department is broad in a variety of different disciplines. So Ian MacDonald, who's our head of department, is a BAFTA award-winning ex-executive from BBC. Mary is a psychologist. Frank has extensive experience in business as well as electronic engineering. Lindsay specializes more in human-computer interactions and service design. Anthony is a specialist craftsperson and excellent at making and prototyping solutions. Trevor is a big life fixer from RTE, which you may have seen on your screens, and has a background in medical device design. Emer is a professional photographer and she's also the department administrator. And Aldo is an automation specialist and also specializes in design entrepreneurship. So you can see there's a really rich set of experience coming from the department. And in addition to that, we draw widely on speakers from industry, both in Ireland and abroad. So I suppose to wrap up this presentation, I'd like to introduce you to a sample of projects that have come from the course that might give you an idea of what you can expect to be doing. So the first thing to say about this design course is that it's studio-based environment. So you'll do a lot of projects, you'll have a desk space where you own the wall space, and you can put your active project material up on the wall space, which is important for the project. We will have many industry collaborations, and this image is a sample from a lighting company where they had to create a better downlight to meet a new piece of legislation which had entered in the UK. This is an example of designing new water cooler systems for the office environment, and we partnered with Britvic and Ballygowan on this project. Then one of the things with our students, which we're very proud of, is they make excellent entrepreneurs. So we've had, for the last number of years, a product design student has won the entrepreneurship competition here in the university and a number of entrepreneurship competitions beyond the university. And this is just one example where the student identified that a sheep farmer unnecessarily loses 15% of its herd or flock every year. And it's to incidents such as lambing complications, dog attacks. And many of these different incidents can be mitigated with further data and understanding live information provided to the farmer. So this student created a wearable technology for sheep and has now gone on to be an R&D manager in a significant agri-tech company. We also win international awards. So this is the Royal Society of Art in 2018, our most recent victory, based out of the UK. And we win smaller awards too. So this was a national award, and it was more of a conceptual award. So it was looking at creating better empathy between a parent and child. The child had a toy, which was binoculars where it could go exploring. And when the child takes a picture, the parent can get a little insight into the child's eye, which is just a really nice, engaging project. We've had a number of finalists in the James Dyson Design Award, and I've just pulled up this one as an example, which is a universal tool set that considers otherwise overlooked groups, such as some people with arthritis, where they need to do DIY work around the house to make it more comfortable for them to be able to use and do some simple work. We've had an International Core 77 Design Award winner, and again, this was sponsored by Diageo. It was about a one-trip keg. So it was when keg systems go to the US, or when Diageo are delivering Guinness to the US, it's not practical to bring an empty keg back. So they need to design a second life into those kegs, which these guys did. And there's many, many more awards that we've claimed in furniture, and many different types of devices. So this is an example of a final year project. And this was a student who was passionate about both cycling and sustainability. And so he leveraged the opportunity to put the two together into his final brief, and he prototyped out this really beautiful functioning bike and prepared some excellent marketing material. This was a lady who is a passionate rugby player, and she was working with the Irish female rugby team. She was looking to improve the equipment because they were largely reliant on modifying gear designed for men. So she designed this improved protective apparel for ladies to wear, and she had it tested out by some international players, which was excellent. This guy was looking to promote better, healthier eating and more fruit and veg eating of young kids and toddlers. This guy was looking at gamifying a situation in pubs to support the customer in clearing their own tables and also crushing bottles so that they were more cost effective for recycling the glass. So he created a device where you put the bottle in, it explodes in front of your face. So it's kind of an engaging thing, and it promotes a change in behavior that people want to do that. And then as you're seeing, there's really broad range. So this again was another award shortlisted, and it's around protective apparel on sites. And then this was a digitally connected shower that can give you some vital data about your health, and it's also controllable by foot dial. So if your hands or if you have suds in your eyes, you can more manage the shower experience. And all of that culminates in this final exhibition at the end of each year, which really tees up the fourth years in particular. And so this is where we invite industry, colleagues and friends to celebrate in the work. And it's really a platform for the students to expose themselves and to get hired straight off the bat. So if you feel this course is for you, make sure and reach out to us or get in touch. And otherwise, we look forward to seeing you in September.